Hi, welcome to the StockinetteZombies. I'm Amy, also known as Jane Itma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Net. And this is episode 251.
Ah, I got us off rhythm.
You did. I was like, and normally this is so just rote. It's probably
what practice.
Yeah, newscasters feel like when, I can't remember recently when I was watching the news, somebody said something and it kind of threw the other person for a loop. And they were like, oh, okay, that's not the normal, like, weather chit-chat that we do. You're, like, actually talking about, like, it was funny. Have you been watching and knitting along with the Olympics?
Been watching them, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Knitting, yes.
I saw a meme out on Instagram that somebody had reposted that said, like, Summer Olympics. Who can run the fastest? Who can swim the fastest? Who can, like it's all, and then Winter Olympics. Go down this icy tube and don't die. Go down this snowy hill and don't die. Like they're just so extreme, and like the failures are so like catastrophic, right? Like,
and the successes are so minor and slight.
Yeah,
right?
like with those, like I couldn't tell you which one of those luge people won, right? Like. I can't perceive hundredths of a second. Oh, the other one, the ice skating, where they've got those things on hinges, like they're skating on knives on hinges on their feet, and if you fall down, I don't know. I just thought it was funny. It was like, I guess I hadn't really thought about it, but yeah, the winter sports are a lot more extreme.
For sure.
And then my husband was like, well, they have biking in the Summer Olympics, and that's really, like, you can really get hurt when you're biking. I'm like, you can really get hurt in any of those things. I'm just saying, like, the potential harm is much higher in these winter Olympics. Seems like curling has really gotten popular. Okay. Yeah, you've not had a lot of people talking about curling?
No.
Oh, okay. Just me then.
I mean, I watched, but I mean, I don't know. Nobody's like talking about how they want to start a curling club. I mean, there is one in town, but I mean, that they want to go out and join. So,
do anything exciting for Valentine's Day? Nope, never do. Well, I tried to do something like pseudo-romantic. I went out to an online, I'm not going to name it because I'm not going to speak very highly of it, but like an online babysitting website, and like posted that I was looking for regular care, or like a regular date night type thing, and then they had like a free month subscription where you could do like with the dating sites where you could actually contact some of these people that had posted ads out there, and so I did it and contacted like easily like 30 people like that said, yes, I'm available on Fridays and Saturdays and blah, 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 blah. And not one of them got back to me.
Wow.
Yeah, so I went out and like canceled the free thing so it didn't roll over and get charged, and said like, you obviously don't have a population in Rochester.
Right.
Like, I will not be telling my friends to use your website to try to find, a regular date night care situation. So I tried. I really did.
Okay.
And then I bought myself chocolate, which in hindsight, I should have just told Jeremy. Jackie at Sun Valley Fibers had these Lily bars. They're low in sugar.
Okay.
Yeah. You can eat half a bar and get like 1 gram of sugar. And, I mean, they've got stevia in them, so they've got like artificial sweeteners. But so you shouldn't eat half a bar regularly. But on Valentine's Day, I eat half a bar. One of my coworkers say, like, you're still doing that sugar thing? And I'm like, yeah, it's kind of like at this point like a lifestyle choice, right? Like, I don't want to slip back into eating the sugar and then have to go through that whole withdrawal purpose again. So it wasn't like a New Year's resolution and like just went by the wayside, right? Like, I'm sticking with it. Low sugar.
You have one of those personalities.
I do. It's yes. That is
once
me.
your mind is set, it's done.
Yes. Like, getting my mind set is the hard part.
Right.
Yeah.
But once it's there, sliding is not something that happens.
Yeah. We had a snow day / ice day.
Yeah.
I tried to go running on Saturday before all of the ice and fell down. So, have you had any? You've not fallen down?
I did not.
Okay.
The road seemed fine to me.
Okay. Apparently, it's just klutzy Megan. It's this time of year where I'm like, oh, it's not all that bad. Joink. There's a huge bruise on my knee.
Oh.
Yeah. The snow was covering up the ice.
I would say for the last couple of weeks I've been feeling under the weather, and nothing that really materialized and knocked me out, just enough to keep me miserable.
Like
right?
Low grade.
Yeah, low grade, but always there, always constant, always making me tired, and I don't know. And then people were like, well, maybe it was you changing your diet, and I'm like, no, my head is like, I'm not getting down about it, like if my diet wasn't there, I probably would have been worse off, right? Like it's just a deep tired where you're just like, I don't even feel like knitting tonight.
Yeah.
Just mentally exhausted, cannot function, and then it turned into physically exhausted, and then I don't know, feel like it's passing. So, that's good. I can't believe it's been so long since we recorded, though.
Yes. Well, we had like a spree of, you're not feeling it. I have to work tonight. Yeah, just all kinds of craziness. Life. I just call it life these days.
I mean, that's what it is.
It is. All right, so I am currently working on a sock that is in conjunction with our Year of Self-Striping All-Stars 2017.
Woo!
What? So I contacted Mint Rain Yarns and I said, here is my Year in Color. And if you're not familiar, Year in Color is an app that you can it's not an app. It's a website that you can authorize to access your Instagram pictures and backlog profile, and then it kind of notices color trends and it pulls them out. And then it's your Year in Color. So my 2017 Year in Color, I handed I sent her the picture and said, I would like a 12 stripe, one for each month. And she kind of picked out the ones that she thought would be really pretty together. I think it's absolutely gorgeous in skein. And that is the prize. It's called Megan's Palette, but it could be like Megan's Year in Color. And
That's on mine.
This is the prize. Do you need one?
You always order 3.
I've only ordered 2. I'm sorry. I didn't know whether or not your my palette was your palette.
Every year except this one.
Sorry. We could contact her with your palette. You could get Amy's palette.
It's all right.
We could have a competition to see who likes which palette better.
I only hoard them anyway.
You're like,
I don't even knit them.
I have a special little basket where I put Megan's self-stripers that she orders extras for me. Collection. But yes, she did fabulous. This is her twist sock. I will talk a little bit more about it in Works in Progress because you all want to know who won. So there were 36 people that were qualified to enter. We had 35 entries, so 2 through 35. And random number generator picked lucky number 13, who is Melissa Mostly Munchies. So contact me. Yes, she is a prolific self-striper. Puts all kinds of beautiful pictures out in the world of her spinning, of her monsters, of her self-striping socks. She does the DVD. So, and again, I'll talk about how it knits up and the fun that I've been having with it. And thank you to Mint Rain. That was fabulous, Caitlin. I love the colors you chose, which it would be hard to not love them because
they're yours.
They are from my palette. And then I also wanted to briefly mention we did an Instagram only giveaway, which was super fun. It was kind of fun to do the live video. I think I realized that kind of the safety net of like, if I really bollock something up in this, that we could go back and like edit it out or whatever, or retape it. Like when you're just like staring at a thing and going, okay, Ellie, and now do that on the phone, and what if she totally messes it up and Jeremy gets an inappropriate text, or, you know. Wouldn't be from me because I am live broadcasting, but he's got some friends that,
not safe for work stuff comes up.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't like peer over his shoulder. I just know that they're pranksters. My favorite prank that he's told me about recently that I now use is that if I am scheduled for a meeting in somebody's office and they don't show up, he takes a little thing of tape from their tape dispenser and puts it on the bottom of their laser mouse.
No!
And so the other day I was sitting in Mike's office, and I'm like, you didn't come for our one-on-one, so I'm gonna try this out. And so he came back right at the end, and he like moved his mouse, and it didn't wake his computer up, so he went to the keyboard. But it was fun because I got to watch it. Like if you didn't stick around, you wouldn't get to have watched it. But he sat and typed in his password, and then he's trying to move, and he's just like, he keeps moving all over the place. And eventually he picks it up. I didn't let him go a day of low productivity.
I have a prankster in our office.
Yeah.
I'll have to see.
All of that to say, congratulations, Melissa, and thank you for doing our KAL.
Can you put it on the inside of somebody's trackball? Because I have trackballs.
Oh yeah, I don't know that that'd work. And I had moved on. Like I'd moved on to the love letters giveaway, and I just talked about my brain. Yeah, I don't know the trackballs and the Apple things with the touch pads where you can do this finger. That obviously doesn't work, right? Great. It's only with the mice, the laser mice. Pew pew pew, laser mice.
You've got little like head-mounted lasers.
Now you could see into my brain, couldn't you? Yeah. But yes, we did that, and the fabulous Sock Nubbins, who has some really fun little orange kitties that you can follow their exploits. Although one of them kind of did a pivot and ate a sock. Yeah.
What? A sock?
Yes, and nibbled on the end of a sock.
Oh.
Yeah, they were socks for her mom. I don't know. I'm following, and I'm like. We may need to start.
Danger.
We may need to start like a cat-related don't eat the bowl support group or something. But yes, that was super fun, and thank you to 3 Irish Girls. Unfortunately, because of the timing of our podcasting, it came right after we podcasted last time, and I wanted it to be able to have the day of love, right? And so people gave each other love letters, which I thought was super fun. Like that was my happy place for many a day. Like just go there and have like. Again, it's a love letter, so you don't understand the context. But like Sock Nubbins was like I don't know if she said I love you, but something about like I can't even remember now what the winning post was that Ellie randomly selected. But it was something that was an inside joke to them, or only something that had context within their relationship, and those were fun, and just the like random shout outs to like, hey, I like that we're basically the same person. Was one of them that I really enjoyed. So yeah. That was the bag, the yarn, and she can jump in, and we're on week 2 of love letters. Okay. I ripped mine out so that I could participate, but I'm still a little ahead because they just got Clue 2 yesterday, and I'm mostly done with Clue 2, so I'm part of Clue 2. Spoiler alert. So I know what's going on. I know what's up. But yeah, if I was truly knitting along, I wouldn't have foraged ahead. Forged ahead too. Yeah. Other than that, you said you wanted to make sure that you mentioned your year-long KAL.
Yes. So the Persian Dreams blanket is coming to an end at the end of this month. So hopefully those that are participating, I think that most of the people who had made it through the first 2 years have posted in the final thread. But I know I had one person who's sewing away and getting through that border and the odds and ends. So cheer her on, yay, come on, keep going. She's got 1 more week to get that done. And then I will be sending out notices for the prizes. Again, I had offered up a prize to everybody who had finished and posted. So that prize still is something that I plan on sending. But there's such an overlap with those people and the people that are finishing the entire KAL. I thought I'd wait for that final drawing and then send out the prizes. So hopefully nobody's waiting on pins and needles on what that's going to be. But I'm excited for the big reveal on what the prize will be when it's drawn, and then what.
But not revealed to you. You know.
Right? Yeah. I can't wait for somebody to tell me what it is. Words are hard right now. It's late. But yeah. Get that entry in, working away, and again, I believe there's only one last person who's working on it, but and she's got some time, so get those entries in, and all will be revealed very soon. And then the prizes that you have already earned and may have earned will be sent.
Excellent.
In the month of March.
Yes, our current KALs are a year-long scrap-along and have had a few questions out in the threads. I have no way of validating that you actually used a scrap, so at this point it's just that you used 2 colors, and you may end up with some scraps if you're using 2 colors in a project that you could then again use as a scrap in the scrap-along. But I've had quite a few multicolor projects that I now have been using scraps or have used scraps, so that's coming right along. We'll draw at the end of February, since we didn't announce until the end of January, I believe, that it was that KAL was going on. And just to loop back around, we had the birthday kit KAL as well. Which I have not seen anybody asking for an FO thread, which we should be proactive instead of reactive and have one out there. But I don't know if people are actually doing that KAL or not. But we've got prizes, so if if you've knit the hat or knit with Queen City, or post a picture using your bag with another project. Those were all ideas we threw out there, and I can put a thread up. Last week, it was not last week.
Last time
we reviewed the Adorn It stitch markers and had a coupon code. And we'll be giving these away as well as some other fabulous prizes that have come in. So we'll have a lot of giveaway threads to go out and check out, and make sure to keep us honest. I'm for sure, in my mind, future Megan is going to do it, but oftentimes things stand in the way of future Megan.
Yeah, like future Megan has a job.
Yeah. And kids.
Yeah,
and a house.
Yeah.
And
where laundry just keeps piling up. Or, like, at least that's my house right now.
Yeah.
Like, you just feel like you can't keep up with chores, let alone things.
Well, you haven't been feeling well too.
Right.
But we also had the fabulous, I guess I could show these off in
Okay.
Well, we were talking about giveaways, so felt like, oh, these were sent to be given away. We could talk about finished objects.
Oh, wait.
You have a pile.
I do. It's not a big pile, but it's a pile.
I wasn't judging your pile.
Sounded like you were.
It wasn't. Said you had a pile.
So I finished my February socks.
Woot woot.
and this is the Desert Vista Dye Works monthly, or 4th annual monthly knit along. I have knit these for my husband. They are in the If They Killed Daryl colorway. I put a little motif on the side, and I kind of kept up with it and kind of didn't care. So they're at least semi-matchy-matchy. The stripes definitely match up, so I'm excited about that. And then
Those remind me of a pair of socks I have with the black and the green.
And then I finished up the Hearthstone. Basically blocked it within an inch of its life. I might reblock it because I think that I blocked it a little too big.
Didn't you? Okay, I was gonna say, didn't you?
Oh yeah, there's a story.
Okay, I was like, it was too big and you ripped it out, right? And now you're making it even bigger?
Well,
not purposely.
There was a yarn situation, right? So it was bigger than it needed to be, and I wouldn't have enough yarn.
Got it.
So I tried to make it smaller, still ran out of yarn. Some wonderful people out of Massachusetts sent me the exact colorway and yarn that I needed. Dye-Lot, yeah, they had 2 of them. So I took both of them. I only needed 1. But it was kind of fumes, so I might use the extra one to elongate either the sleeves or the hem at some point. But I need to figure out this block stitch because the way that this pattern is written, the top is like a yoke style, but then this pattern is kind of raglan-esque, but the decreases were very tall. They weren't at an angle like this, they were at an angle like this, right?
Very gradual.
Very gradual. And so by the time I reached the neck, it felt like it was choking me. And then when I blocked it to where I felt like everything sat on my shoulders correctly, I noticed that my arm was almost dolman. Dolman. Like there's a lot of extra fabric under my arm. And so I'm wondering if I might have just blocked it a smidge too aggressively. So if I go back and I get less aggressive in these shoulders, so that these ribbing sections don't quite stretch or pop as much, it might...
Sorry, I'm laughing at a joke in my head, not at what you're doing. I was saying you need to channel your inner Minnesotan and be passive aggressive.
Yes, so, not aggressive, passive aggressive.
Okay. Just like, I can be aggressive, but I'm just gonna be passive about it.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So again, I wore it last night because I thought we might record. And you had work. So I was wearing it, and I noticed that the sleeves also got kind of like loosey-goosey as I was wearing it.
So the yarn has a lot of stretch.
So the yarn has a lot of stretch. I'm just wondering how to fix it, but then I'm like, well, the intention was for it to be oversized, right? Like I did want it to have, several inches of positive ease. I wanted it to be really relaxed. So I got all of those things. It's just, it's got that extra fabric under the arms, which it doesn't look bad, but when I'm sitting, it feels like the top is like coming out to eat. Because it naturally wants to go up into your armpit, and then everything else comes with it. So when I'm standing, it's great. When I'm sitting, it's not so much.
Yeah.
So maybe blocking will fix it. I don't know.
Maybe, come sit down. You've been standing all day. I can't.
I'm wearing the sweater.
I'm wearing the sweater. It's my standing sweater.
Yeah, it's my relaxing standing sweater, right? It's supposed to be super comfortable, but I'm going to stand all day. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm already getting punchy. I'm punchy. Hello.
Well, and I was also noticing that it was a little scratchy, so I might rewash it. Get that worked, get it nice and softened, and then reblock. But again, I was trying real hard to get it done so that I could show it off here. So
yes.
I was like, oh, I'll just block it. And then I was like, aggressive. And then I was like, that probably wasn't the best idea.
I think reblocking may be the theme of this podcast.
Call it the reblocking.
Yes, yeah. So I finished my brain just blanked out on the name of this sweater.
I don't know.
Oh, sweet Lord. Portage cardigan. And this motif in and of itself is very stretchy, but I think that this DK weight, the Three Irish Girls, yeah, my brain is full of squirrels and laughing at herself. Springvale DK from Three Irish Girls. It grew. It's a super long,
it's like a house coat.
Pockets at my knees, which again isn't a bad look. It's just with these huge pockets. Chaz is like, I don't want to be in your huge pocket.
Like, I can't reach them. They're all the way down there.
Yeah, like, I don't, okay, so now I can stand up. Sorry.
Did Jeremy try this on?
No, he didn't. But it would probably be appropriately sized for him. I added some short row shaping in the collar, as per the internet told me that I should, and so I did. But yes, it is extremely long.
Do you always do what the internet tells you to?
I don't always do what the internet tells me to do, but yeah, I don't know, they just kind of feel a little too low. Put my phone in there. Oh, nope, I can't reach it. And so, absolutely love the pockets. Absolutely love this huge. I hate knitting shawl collars. They are like a bane, right? Like you're done. Like on this one, I knit the sleeves because I wanted to make sure that I had enough for the sleeves, which I had more than enough. I've got a whole skein that I didn't even dip into, and then another one that I just barely touched. But so you have the sleeves done, you're like, oh, yeah, I'm basically done. And then you have these huge shawl collar and then this pocket on both sides to do. So yeah, I'm thinking that maybe, you know, fabric, if I stretch it more wide, it won't be as long, but super love this base. It's so soft and it washed up so nice, and I absolutely love the colorway, but it's just, yeah, it's a very long, almost like a, you know, chaps level pockets clear down there, right? But yeah, I'm going to wear the heck out of it. I just don't know the utility of the big portage, which is its namesake. If the pockets are not in reach. But, yep. When Doves Cry is the colorway. It's all coming back to me now.
Okay.
It's all coming back to me now. Amy doesn't ever join me in my singing, just to make it awkward for me. I did another Be Mine hat. The pattern went live. I do not believe I was able to share the fun promotion on this podcast, which is another about not podcasting. But lo and behold, they were there. I think I said to follow me on Instagram, right?
You did.
I did. Okay, so covered myself there. But this is the blue that I picked out for my other one. And I did not like the contrast, and then I picked out a like a golden roddy yellow to go with it. So it's slouch-tastic, Be Mine hat. And then I had the brilliant idea that since my whole babysitter thing was a bust, I don't know, I just kept on thinking that maybe I could lure somebody into like every other week babysitting, and then it would be like a semi-regular gig for them, and they would be like,
a paycheck.
yeah, I want to do this. No, I did not have the hookup on my first month free website. So I had the brilliant idea that I was going to use what I kind of deemed a semi-manly color to knit some skew socks for my husband. He wears them every single day. I see him wearing them to work every single day. He has, I believe, the not mansplain, the man, like rebranding of this color is salmon.
Oh, okay.
He has a salmon shirt. And he also has like this, I would call it near lavender. No, not lavender. It's kind of a peachy or pinky peach is the salmon. But he has a shirt that's that color as well.
Okay.
As well as the red and green. So this was Vesper Knitterly Things. It was her speckle self-striping club. And there is a lot of yarn in that ball because I was winding up the leftovers. And, you know, that's a big sock. That's not rapidly decreasing at the top after you've already done the heel. Just going until you've gotten rid of the extra stitches and doing the, I mean, it's a sleeve basically, right? Really long sock and a lot left over.
Yeah.
So yeah, I need to weigh this bad boy. Are you allowed to weigh things when they're wet? Like, could I wet it down and make it heavier?
No.
How would you know? I would know.
I could,
in my heart.
I could probably tell depending on what you were trying to weigh wet.
You'd suss it out. Anyway, I need to weigh these and the hat and the sweater for our ZK AL. I've never said that before, but that is how I would brand it. The ZK AL. ZK AL. Sorry. My brain is apparently able to do zingers, but not like, or punny. Yeah, this is my punny shirt. Yeah, very punny. He enjoyed them. Put them on immediately. Had a few people just recently contact me about SKUs. The extra 6 stitches on the instep or on the bottom side, the sole side, make all the difference. There's a ton of rows here where those extra 6 stitches, which is basically 1 inch, gives you to put your foot in. Did you try that when you did yours? The extra stitches on the sole?
Which pair?
No. You did? Okay.
I think I tried the extra. Yeah, I did. I have one pair that's not sport that I did fairly recently, like last year for the.
That's right. You're like the iron. Yeah. Really tight, soft knitter. So yeah. Yep.
Doesn't work for me.
It
so
does not.
I just do sport weight,
which is probably.
But I've knit my last SKU already in the past, so no more.
It's that's not the case for me. But that's probably more of a row gauge than a stitch gauge thing, if you think about it.
Oh,
right? Because you don't have as much to stretch for that kind of wider spot of your foot. I just put 2 and 2 together on that and came up with 4. So those are my finished objects, I think. I don't think any wandered off or got used and didn't, who you texted?
Kara.
Hi, Kara. Super entertaining for everybody at home.
She asked me if I'm going to Weird Al in April, and I am.
That's exciting.
So, I don't know what section I'm in. That's the other thing she asked me.
Okay. Well, you get back to her later on that. Okay. Works in progress.
So, I have a lot of them.
As per usual.
Because I cast on 2. But we'll go with the old ones first. I'm still working on the Frisia? Shawl?
Frise.
Fries. I'm still enjoying it. I like it a lot. I knit on it here and there, and I usually get like 2 or 3 repeats of the striping before I set it down again. It's getting to the longer sections, so I don't know how enthused I am to spend time with it. But I'm about, looking at these balls, I'm nowhere near half, but I'm getting close to half. We're done with that.
I'm about halfway. Okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Fact check.
Fact check is saying no, you're not halfway done. But I am also working on my mom's presents, so look away. Here's the back half. Look away. But I did get a lot closer to the top, so mostly done. Mostly. This got attention last night. I think I got like a good 1.5 inches done on it last night, if not 2 inches. So I think there's only about, oh gosh, probably only 3 inches left. And then I get to stuff a pillow inside it.
And then Kitchener?
That's what I was thinking of doing, yeah. Haven't 100% decided on it yet, but yeah. Kitchener would make it match the bottom.
And you really have no other way of doing it other than having a
needle bind off. A visible, yeah.
You'd have a visible seam.
Yeah, you'd have a visible top seam.
Yeah. Because you can't put the pillow after that.
Right. No, but I mean, like, if I think about it, I'm like, well, I wouldn't mind having that nice visible seam on top. I think that that would be cute. But to match the bottom, it would have to be Kitchener. Because I did the kind of toe-up sock start.
Juice Magic Cast On?
Yeah, Juice Magic Cast On, yeah. Let's see, is it that? Oh, daughter socks are still going. I got one sock done for her, and then I have the toe started. I did something funny with the sock, so that's why it's taking me so long. When I cast on the sock and did the toe, I did 36 on the front and 34 on the back, and then when I got to the heel,
Why?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I thought you were like, I purposely
No,
put 36
no.
on the front and 34 on the back. And I was like, huh, I wonder why she did that. No, you mean funny as in you don't know what the heck happened.
right.
Okay.
Funny as in I got through the heel and went, the count for the ribbing on the top is way off. What is going on
So now
here?
you're trying to match the funny?
Yes. So now I'm trying to match the funny enough to be able to have a similar fit.
Got it. I'm 100% there with you. I do that on sleeves too. I'm like, I did something weird here. How am I going to do the same weird thing on the other sleeve?
Yeah. So no, I had to figure out like, oh, where did I go wrong? Well, somehow I only have 66 stitches around here.
You
No,
didn't
not
notice when you
not
did the ribbing?
66. No, so it would have been. Well, I mean, I did notice at the ribbing, but not the heel.
Yeah, okay. Because it's only on the back side, and that
Right.
lady wrote that, silly pattern that only uses the back side of the...
So it's one of those things where you just.
Do you think she would notice if you did it correctly?
Well, the fit would be so much different. I mean, because it'd be
Just 2 stitches.
I think
If you think, okay. Again, no. I know people that count the number of repeats that they do, like on stitch, to make sure that the socks are exactly the same. I'm kind of the
close enough.
Yeah. Like, am I gonna notice if this sleeve has 44 stitches and this one has 46? I don't know. Not unless it's a massive amount of fabric, I guess. But yeah, okay. You think it would be noticeable?
I do. So I'm at the point right now on this, I think, where I have 34 on both. So I have to like mentally like be focused enough to increase only on one side and then get to the tube part without messing up. Because there's certain times you go on autopilot and then before I know it I'd have even front and back and that's not what I want. I want it to be crazy like I started. And I'm not sure how I think I wanted to stop at 34 and put in the 36 because she's got a smaller foot than mine, and 36 is what I would put in for my 72 around. Like she should be at 68. So,
and again, this is like her ironclad.
Oh yeah. I knit these super tight.
9 stitches per inch?
Yeah, I would say 9 stitches per inch at least. Between 9 and 10. So anyway, if I'm going to knit them the same, it's going to take brain power, which is unfortunate. So those are...
I hate it when it takes brain power.
Right. And then I've been playing with a stitch pattern on a, I don't know, I would call it a slipper sock type of thing. And again, it's only the leg warmer part of it right now. So it could just end up being a leg warmer. I don't know. But, yeah. So I got the pattern set. So I'm like, oh, well, it served its purpose, and now it's waiting until I have, I don't know.
And that you said was out of Barrett?
Yeah, this one's out of Barrett wool. So I bought this color combo when they first announced or launched their products, and it's been sitting there waiting for a project for a very long time. But yeah, it's super nice. And I'm going to really enjoy these if I ever get them done. But like I said, I was trying to work out a pattern, and then once I worked out the stitch pattern and liked it and had charted it, I was like, no, I'm not as excited to work on these. And so I moved on. I'm knitting some sort of bandana cowl thing that was free from Pearl Soho out of some leftover yarn that I had. This is in my working old stash and trying to get grams category. So I cast it on thinking, oh, it'll be interesting. Is it? Yeah, it's not bad. It'll be quick. And it's got short rows in it. And yeah, it's not bad. I think that it'll be over before I know it. So that'll be a nice, simple, quick project. Used up some old yarn. I still wear the sweater that I made out of this cocoon. Love it.
Yeah, it's got the reversible collar, right? But the pattern works on both sides.
Yes. And then in a thought to use up scraps, I have a bunch of these rainbow solids in worsted.
I wonder where this came from.
Yeah. And so I picked out a long ago. I thought that I wanted to make a black sweater. So I have like 6 balls of this or 5 balls of this, and I'm like, I am never gonna knit a black sweater ever.
What is this?
This is Malabrigo. Whatever their superwash worsted is called. And then I am knitting up, what's it called? Undertone by Tin Can Knits. So it'll have rainbow striping with a base of these, the black will go every other as I rainbow up.
Cool.
And it's going to be a larger infinity cowl. It's kind of all scrunched up on here, but it's supposed to be the 20-inch one.
Okay. Pretty.
And since it was written for DK, it'll hopefully be like 23-ish when I get it off here.
Yeah.
I can block it that far anyway.
Not passive aggressive blocking.
No. Just regular blocking.
Aggressive blocking.
No, I wouldn't even have to be aggressive, I don't think. I think this would grow.
Okay.
Anyway, and then I also had a lighter color that I could also do with it. So black was what I chose for now, and I think that if I enjoy it enough, I can make another one.
You've got a lot of rainbow balls.
I do. I have enough. I mean, this is the leftover scraps. I mean, and that's more than half. And I've already put the 2 in here that the original pattern called for, but I think I'm going to go with 3 because I only have 6 colors of the Roy G. Biv. Instead, because I didn't use the pink, I guess, that we had in the kit. I think I'm done.
Okay. Earlier, I alluded to the fact we talked about the year in color. First of all, I wanted to have it. I wanted to knit it up so that we can, so that I could see and you could visualize the stripes. Because again, very stunning in the skein. But I wanted to make sure that I knew what the stripes look like. And as I'm knitting them up, I'm kind of pulling up Instagram and seeing the seeing what my pictures are that pull the urine color pulled from, and then I'm kind of mentally naming the stripes. So this first kind of raspberry pink is Minnesota 52 pink, or raspberry. This gray is couch gray, because I do post things on my couch, right?
Okay.
The green is the Rhapsody and Cables line. That was in a lot of my pictures. The blue I haven't quite. Anyway, you get the picture. I won't. The blue could be my cracked pepper, no, ground pepper, or there was another blue sweater in there that I was like, oh, it could be that one too. But yep, super fun. They of course had to become skews. This one is knitting up a little. Maybe it's just because I did the actual 36 stitches that it calls for in Jeremy's size, and I decrease it, or don't increase as up to the 36 until I get to the heel on mine, because I do have a thinner foot. So that is that. Thoroughly enjoying that. I talked about earlier the Love Letters cowl. So if you are knitting along and do not want a spoiler, I am up to clue 2. So the fabulous Telly Beans Knits Steph did the first clue, which was at the time kind of looked like you were doing a shawl. Has this really fun ridges. There's 2 color options, so you could knit it in this Only Have Eyes for You, I believe, or True Love. I can't remember which one's fuchsia and which one's, I think this is True Love. True Love. True Love. Yes. And then in the second clue you picked up and did this Lisa's section is a very fun kind of ridged. Absolutely love these colors, absolutely love these colors together, but I will have to say as designers I felt like kind of the busy speckles were kind of hard to work into and make a contiguous design, which was, you know, on us as designers to try to figure out, and I really like how Lisa's section turned out with, this is the variegated from Leading Men Fiber Arts. And I think it's their color of the month too, right?
I have it in my...
Oh, okay. And I think that's Only Have Eyes for You. And then I am the second half of clue 2, and have a fun slip stitch motif in the 2 Three Irish Girls. And at the end of the clue it says do not break the yarn, so the stitch motif may be going somewhere.
Okay.
Yes. And I could delay putting this out and let people get a little further along. And last I have another design, another color work design on the needles. Amy, when I posted on Instagram, was like, hey, I'm designing some kind of house slippery type thing, color work socks as well. So these are the Luck Lucks. And they've got some fun. I'll just take my sock off, but not put it on. Talk about it, and then you guys can just get my bare foot. That one foot was getting a little warm. Don't worry about it. It's got a 3-leaf clover motif with a lucky chart where you can mix in a 4-leaf clover so that you can hunt for it on the sock. Cute. Yes. And then if
see it already.
Yes, you found it. It's not going to be in the same place on the second sock. There. Or if you're just feeling like you want to just, yeah, there's some at the top too. Okay. You can skip that chart if you want to and just put them at the top. But yeah, they went out to test knitters. It's yours looks really big to me. This is still very big. I mean, it's a little more, it's obviously a little more fitted than yours is, but it's very loose on my foot. So very slippery sock, slipper sock. There's 3 sizes, a small, a medium, which is this one, and a large, although I had Jeremy try on this one because he wants me to knit him some to wear with his kilt. He and his bike riding friends go out and they wear kilts and bike on St. Patrick's Day. So he's got really giant feet. But a DK weight sock. You know, like this is basically a day's worth of work. Okay. Goes fast. And this is that yarn that I picked up at the Craft Mart. I absolutely love it. I have looked at this yarn multiple times and have wanted to knit with it because it's BFL BFF. This is the perfect color work yarn. Like, it's got, like, when I was designing this sock, I would rip back because I didn't like things. Specifically, like, these guys down here didn't have shortened stems. They didn't have any at all. And Jeremy and I both looked at it and were like, that looks wrong. They need to have stems. Even if they're shortened stems. So then I knit it up. Ripped all the way back to the toe and knit it up. Fixed something else along the way as well. Anyway, but it stays, right? Like, a good color work yarn kind of has a little bit of, like, it won't just go whoop. Like, you take the needles out and it just kind of sits there. I'm still here. I've got a little grippage and friction with my friends, and so I'm just gonna stay. If you want to pick me back up, that'd be great. Which can be a blessing and a curse, because sometimes when you're ripping out, it's adhesed to and you're like, But the colors that I have, Citron and Tree Swallow. And I really like them together. I think Jeremy's are going to have some sort of black in it, which is why I was kind of eyeballing the black. I'm like, oh, got some extra black. But this is DK weight.
Oh,
yeah. Which, if this is the right size for his foot as far as width is concerned, here, let me hold up. I've got the tools. Yeah, about the same width. He has a narrow foot, just has a really long foot. So yeah, I just turned the OMG heel, and I'm ready to zoom up the leg. Yeah, I'm liking them. I'm liking them a lot. Although it's starting to get to the time of year where these greens are really fun to look at. But I don't, yeah, pretty soon spring needs to get here, right? Can't just be bright colors that are knitting. And all of that to say, I think there'll be some, again, pre-selected colors kits, but this time with Camel City Dye Works. So she has some really pretty greens, like some of my favorite greens. And she showed me some new ones that she's got as well. She's like, and you can help me name them if you want. And I was like, what? What? So yes, look for those. They are forthcoming. I can't believe March is almost here.
Yeah, I did.
Well, I think you always feel that way about February because it's only the 28 days.
Right.
Unless it's leap year, but. All right, I got a lot of purchases. And we can talk about the things that people sent that we could share, I guess.
Sure.
So the fabulous folks at Show Me Yarn and their family is expanding. They're going to have a baby Show Me Yarn. Sent these two self-stripers, Winter Woolies and Snow Bunnies. Snow Bunnies, I think, is going to have to go out in the Easter time frame. And we'll be giving those away. So thank you so much for your support of our podcast. And lucky you guys, you get some fun yarn. And then you'll see in my purchases that I was enabled by a coupon bought for Unwind Yarn Company. And she's got 2 new bases that she said that she'd love for us Amy and I, to try out and share with you guys. So Amy has picked out her skein. I'm really kind of liking the crimp on this.
I know. I was very tempted. Like, I don't know.
This is bulky in the goldenrod colorway. It is 98% merino, 2% nylon with binding thread.
Yeah. So it's like, it says that it was milled in the U.S. So raised and milled in the U.S. Wow. That would knit up super quick too.
It weighs a lot. Sorry. And then, yeah, this one might be that might be the one that I'm going with. I don't have a lot of bulky. And this is holiday worsted. I loved the label on this one. It's 49% super fine alpaca, 49% merino, 2% glitz, polyester glitz, putting on the glitz, and it is very sparkly. Mm-hmm. This would make a really great winter hat. Mm-hmm. Oh, now I can't decide. Good thing I actually bought myself yarn so that I don't have to decide.
Right.
Those are decided for me, but yes, thank you so much to Dana. Again, a future giveaway once we decide what we're keeping. If I convinced you to take this one.
No, I thought long and hard about it.
She did. She's a very decisive. Figured it out. Yep.
I mean, I probably won't wear this. It's got alpaca in it, but I can knit with it.
Okay. I got a fat squirrel enamel pen. Yo, it's sparkly. Woo!
Sure is.
Pew, 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 pew. I like laser mice. So she had those in her shop. I don't know if they're still available or not, but I grabby hands. Yep.
Now it can go on your bag.
It can. Although my bag cannot stand on its own anymore. It's like one of those heavily engineered chickens. They've made the breasts so big that they can't stand up. My bag can't stand up, which is kind of sad. It's not that. I can lessen the load for it. And then I don't know if you were enabled, but I got some different locking backing pins for. Okay.
We talked about them last time, I think.
Okay. Well, I got some as well because Amazon was like,
ding dong.
I had a birthday gift certificate burning a hole in my pocket, so I ordered myself some locking backers. Speaking of gift cards burning a hole in your pocket, this arrived at my house. It's like, could be a sheep in here. This is a lot of wool.
Okay, what's in there?
This is ferret wool. My mom met Find Susan, and I said, let us support her, so that's where I pointed her for my birthday gift certificate.
Okay.
Yes, so yep, I had some burning a hole in my pocket. It just keeps, it's like a so I really liked their woolen spun, and I really enjoyed these colors. So the fingering weight was the only one that had these colors available, and I kind of feel like a colorwork sweater is like imminent now. So this is hazelnut, which is a really beautiful orange, and I planned on pairing it with stone. Hazelnut and stone. And then I got jam. It's my jam. And blushing, which I thought were. And then I have some other ones that I can mix in that I bought at ZK. I'm not remembering, like a lighter gray. But yes, just kind of grabby hands. Oh, they're only $18 a skein. Oh, I've got a gift certificate from my mom. Whoop, 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 whoop. Whoop. And then it shows up, and then your husband's like, do you need another container? Because that's a lot of yarn. Yes. And she's got some really adorable kits out there, and yep, it's enabling, yo. And then yes, the yarn that came with the giveaway yarns from Unwind Yarn Company. I saw this out on Instagram, and I believe I said, I can't remember, like simply stunning or something like that. Like I had to comment. I thought it was so pretty. So this was one where I actually watched the update come up, and then I think I got distracted and ended up ordering it later that night, and I was so glad that the skein was still around. But this is Lake Francis Sunrise, and I don't know that I've ordered a lot of yarn from Dana before, but I feel like her photography was very spot on. Like this came and it looked like what I bought, right? Like it wasn't like, oh, it's slightly more muted than I thought it was going to be. Like, no, this is just as stunning as what I commented on Instagram about. Like, so pretty, Lake Francis. those pinks and greens. Oh, okay. Stop yourself, Megan. You could go on forever. This is the sport. This is a sport. This is Bluffs. Both of these are her superwash merino and nylon base, 400 grams. Or 400 yards, 100 grams. You were like, and I was like, no,
well,
that was wrong. Fact checker.
I was thinking about her new labels, and I got like off on a tangent.
You were like, okay, I'm going to say yes so that I can move on to the new labels. Yeah. And this is Bluffs, and I could totally see a pair of socks for my husband out of those. I would definitely coordinate. But I've been digging the kind of heavier weight socks, the only 400 yards for 100 grams. I am not an ironclad knitter. And so the lighter weights, I feel like I'm wearing through them a little faster. I guess I could go down to a 0. That doesn't sound fun. Then my skew won't fit because of row gauge. And then Need You Around. The sentiment is super wonderful. I love the speckles and pink and green. The green. I think it's the green. The green is what really made me get it. So this is her Rendezvous Sport, which is 328 yards for 100. 328 yards for 100 grams. I tried to flip it again. And another sport weight, Avonlea. That's pretty. Yes. The speckles have been getting me lately. I got hard eyes for the speckles. And that was a lot. And I got more coming.
Oh, really?
Yep. People having 20. So she had a flash sale on her Instagram. So go make sure that you follow her on Instagram. So I got a discount on those, and it was like, woo. Yeah. Grabby hands. Yeah. Doop, 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 doop. Oh, and it's only skating. Yay!
So I continued my little sock club with Leading Men Fiber Arts. So I got their February colorway, Only Have Eyes for You, EWE. And I thought I would show with my other. So,
are you going to make DK weight socks, or
I don't know?
Are you just saying sock club in the?
Oh, yeah. I guess I did say sock club, yarn club. I guess is what I meant to say. No, my little monthly present to myself, I guess, is what I'm calling. So, love the base still and always and forever. So, I am gonna be collecting these all year long. I'm so happy with how these two look together, and can't wait to see what the next month brings. I know that it's only 10 colors. I don't know what month he skips. So,
July is one of them.
Okay.
Maybe 4 stitches prep. I don't know.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. But I'm not sure, so it'll be news to me. I could go back and check, but I'm going to be lazy about it.
You don't have to go back and check.
I could.
You could just be like, oh, okay, it's a new month and the same color's still out there, or no new color went out there.
I guess I can save my money this month, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was given a coupon code in my last thing, and his coupon codes are very personalized now. It is my coupon code.
Now other people might try to use them.
Huh?
If it's very personalized to you, other people might try to go out and use them.
What do you mean? How would they know?
I don't know.
How would they know it's mine?
If it's personal to you, you have a name. You have a Ravelry ID? I don't know. Somebody's going to hack you, Amy.
Oh, don't hack me. 10%.
It's not worth the time.
Please don't.
And Steve could probably pretty easily be like, this isn't Amy.
This isn't getting shipped to her. Why is
this isn't Amy? Huh?
Yes.
That coupon code gets around. Anyway, sorry. I'm cracking myself up tonight. And I may not be entertaining to anybody but myself, so I should just stop.
So yes, if I don't get hacked, I might use that.
I was yarn hacked.
Oh, you know, I forgot to mention these, and I should look up who made them before I get too nutty here.
Yeah.
So whatever
I want to talk about. I didn't mention, but I'm knitting from the pattern went out to test knitters. So, and that's always feels like a large undertaking, getting the pattern out to the test knitters. Thanks to everybody that was out on Instagram and offered. So, woot woot, another design in the pipeline.
Might be getting closer to shipping notification.
Oh, you're getting something?
No, I just wanted to make sure that I said who made these. Oh. So I got some mitten blockers.
Oh, fun.
And she had kitten mitten blockers, but she also had sock blockers that had sharks on them. So I was like, can you put the sharks on the kitten mittens? So I got sharks. So the thumbs come untied. I tied them on there.
Okay.
And I also ordered them a little longer because I make my cuffs really long.
As you should in Minnesota.
Yeah. So I thought, well, if you had shorter cuffs, they would fit on there, but you wouldn't necessarily want your wrist to be like stretched out. But anyway, so it works for me
for modeling purposes.
And modeling purpose, yeah. So I like them. And this was Knitting Left Etsy shop. And she was very responsive in the customization of the shark. She just asked me to order what I wanted and then comment the design I wanted in it. And then we had talked about what size I wanted, and she started making them, and she's like, these are huge. And so we had readjusted, but very responsive, no complaints.
Excellent.
And thought those are fun, and I now have mitten blockers. Not that I needed mitten blockers. I mean, I could have gotten away without it.
These are my mitten blockers.
Yeah, these were highly cabled. Like I had test knit Alexis Winslow's dad cabled mitts, and yeah, they were so scrunched that you weren't really seeing the patterning on them. So I thought that it behooved me to block this particular pair of mittens.
I see.
And again, for displaying purposes, but you know, you can use your hands too. But just like your sock blockers, you can use your feet. Something different.
My sock blockers are almost primarily, unless I've knit something too tight, just for display purposes.
Yeah. Well, and what else is Christmas money for? I mean, this is something that my grandmother taught me.
That was my Barrett wool, right?
Right, but see, I might buy Barrett wool for myself anyway, right? When I'm ready to knit a sweater. But sock blockers or mitten blockers might not have been something that I thought was necessary. So it was a nice to have, and now I have them. They weren't at all expensive. So, I mean, a luxury, like a baby luxury.
I'm not questioning the validity of getting them.
No, I just mean that, I don't know.
I mean,
I think...
Yeah, I did say these were my blockers, but yeah, I wasn't, like, judging you for, buying them. They're cool. I've never had need to get them, but they are cool.
Yeah, I think that, the thing that, Grandma's philosophy kind of kicked in. Like, well, I wouldn't normally buy that for myself, so that's a good Christmas money thing.
Yep.
Anything that you want, but you wouldn't necessarily plunk down the money for, that's what you get for Christmas. That's all I have.
ZK?
We have a contract out to a speaker.
Woot woot.
So as soon as it is signed, we will try to get the word out about who that is.
A big announcement.
Yep. And then we also have T-shirts kind of started and getting back numbers and.
Yep. Coming soon. Style picked out.
Yep.
Graphic created.
Yep. Yes. Just need to combine the two and ship it.
Yep.
Kind of thing.
Along with that, getting involved, there is generally a sign up to teach a class. So have an idea of anything that you would be interested in sharing your knowledge with your fellow retreat goers. What else? Seems like there's been a lot going on, but not all of it's camera worthy.
Right.
So we will be sending an email out when all of that is set. So super exciting there.
Yep.
So when it's like negative whatever outside wind chill, it's hard to be thinking about June, but it is indeed soon.
Doesn't feel like it. Other than all the planning is starting to.
But you realize that once it becomes spring-like, then it's like then you're on the luge.
No breaks.
Down. Yes.
There's no breaking here.
Yes.
Just gotta hit the finish line before we can break.
Warm weather is a harbinger of more to come. More to come.
And that reminded me of something that I need to ask you off camera.
Oh, okay. We are so very thankful that you joined us today.
Yes.
And
All right. Bye.
Bye, Gupta.